Ooh. Boom. This webinar is streaming live on Facebook now.
Yeah, so we should be live on Facebook now. Finally.
We are.
We are live on Facebook. Hooray. And we even appear to be side by side. This is incredible. This is this is amazing for me. Right, okay, cool. So we should be live on Facebook. Hooray! We've had a trauma this morning, Monday morning, gremlins.
We are live on the Facebooks.
Just going to swear that I'm not going to, but anyway, so here we are live on Facebook. Facebook glitches have made things rather challenging this morning, and it's Monday morning, and I'm all excited. I'm ready to go. So Fidel, for those of you who don't know, we've known each other for quite a long time. How long have we known each other?
It's a few years now.
Forever. Fidel does some amazing things with the Modern Man Club. He's also launching the Modern Woman Club. Is that right?
That went live yesterday. We got nearly 150 members in there.
150 members already. I only went live yesterday.
They kicked me out though. They kicked me out. They voted me out.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want any men in there. It's just safe feminine space. I'm in there. I did a big post yesterday about feminine energy, so it's,
I read it. I'd like to talk to you about that. It's very interesting.
Yes, very high on my agenda at the moment. So yeah, we're live on Facebook, so you should be able to put your comments in the comments below as normal. If you've got any questions, let them know. Any questions for either of us, let us know. So we'll talk about your stuff in a minute. So one of the reasons why we're doing this is because you're in my world, and in my world can happen in various different ways. And for us, we've been working together. You've been part of the mastermind, yes?
Yes, I have.
So talk to me. Oh, hold on, I can see the comments now. Right, okay, cool. Oh, great, we've got people watching. Hooray.
Woohoo.
So you joined the mastermind when? September?
The last one. I've just been on the latest one.
Yes, so you've been there since September, and we've just come to an end. How have you found it? Why did you join it, and how have you found it?
I joined it because that's my target market, really. Obviously, I've been an entrepreneur and a business owner pretty much my entire working life. So I have a natural affinity to other people. I understand what they're going through. I know what it takes. I'm really aware of, especially some of the specific issues that guys can go through as entrepreneurs and business owners. There's quite a lot of masculinity tied in with all of that, and it can get fragile at times. So those are my guys in there. So I don't really do LinkedIn. Most of my stuff on social media is Facebook is my home, my little comfort zone.
Actual home, yeah, of course.
It's time to grow, isn't it?
Ooh. So how did you find the mastermind as a process?
It was brilliant and quite easy to follow. I did fall off a little bit because it's a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster, but like I spoke to Jo Howarth beforehand. I said, you've been on it, you're in the group. Is it worth it? And she went, yep. I didn't follow it all step by step, but I got business from it still. So just do it. So I did. I didn't follow it all, but I still got business from it.
Yeah, and we're going again in January. So I think the interesting thing is that you followed it through September, like most of it, like most people do. Everyone falls off the wagon at some point, pretty much. And the reason why I keep people in the group is because we run it live every three times a year. And what that means for me is that it's not got that pressure on you to, you've got to get it done in the 12 weeks. You can almost do as much as you can cope with, if that makes sense, in terms of where you're at in the business now. It's all about helping you where you're at the time. And then the next time we go around, so when we go in January, you'll be at a totally different stage in your business, and then you can tweak it, improve it, change it, and maybe you've got new things to launch. And that
because I understand the format now and the platform a lot more just from doing it the first time. So that the next time I'll be attacking it with more experienced eyes.
Yeah, and that's it. Some people have been there 5 rounds and they're still doing it. They love the live rounds. They love being part of the group. They still like doing stuff. So just in terms of results, though, when you did sort of do a bit and started to actually follow the rules, you know what happened?
Yeah, it changed. So I started getting leads, first of all. As you might remember, I stuck a couple of posts up in there because I was like, oh, shit, I got leads. And then I didn't quite know how to handle them because they're very different to the other kind of leads that I've got. So I toyed around with different kinds of responses and engagement and stuff like that. Yeah, and I got some new clients out of it, which is just random clients as well that I've never I've never met before, never had any engagement for. They would just literally, they looked at my profile, they responded to my connection request, they read some of my content, and they got in touch and did business with me, which is magic.
Yeah. It is magic. People say that, oh, it's magic, but that's what it's all about. It's about complete strangers. What happens with my stuff is people feel like they've found you, they've fallen over your stuff, and that they're in control of the sales process. That's the difference. Whereas what you've done is you've created that environment for that to happen, but they don't know that. So it's kind of like, it's such a natural sales process that they're in control of that. It's really weird. But for you, from the other side, you're kind of like, well, I knew this was going to happen, but it still feels a bit weird.
It does feel weird, mainly because, like, you know, the stuff I do is quite personal.
Yes.
The work I do is pretty personal, and I did, even though I'm a very positive, well, I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't have a positive mindset. But when, like, I still struggle with the concept that total strangers are going to approach me on a social media platform and give me money to work with me on such a personal basis, after having never met me, literally just reading a bit of stuff that I've posted. And it's a bit more to it, but
yeah, a lot of people say, oh, my stuff won't work on LinkedIn because it is personal, or it's not B2B, or it's, you know, people don't want to talk about that stuff. Whereas I'm like, no, these are still people. These are like 300 odd million people who've all got the same problems as everyone else. And it's almost like it's a real pattern interrupt to see people talking about real personal stuff on there.
In some ways, it was probably it seemed to me that it was actually a positive from their perspective.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know me, they were able to get I mean, they got to know me, obviously, but they were able to have that personal conversation and just know that I was nothing to do with any of their circles or any of the people that they know or any of their business environment or anything else like that. So actually, that detachment was pretty useful from their point of view, I think. It was probably
definitely. And I think Facebook's so much different. And I talk about timelines. So for me, Facebook, I reckon it takes about 12 months for someone to fall over you, find you, connect with you, follow you, be in a group with you, get to know you, build a relationship that everyone's always banging on about. Oh, let's build relationships, which is great, but it takes a long time to convert, and it tends to be less value in the order. Whereas Facebook, LinkedIn, it seems to be so much quicker and so much higher value. So I'd say maybe sometimes it can be as little as 3 days. You know, someone will meet you. I've had people literally see one of my videos on my post, look at my profile, read recommendations, and send me 1,200 quid. And I'm like, are you mad?
Pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah, it just feels weird. You're like, that's weird. Sometimes it might take 3 months, but what I'm saying is you go to LinkedIn as a business owner who's got a solution to a problem, not as the mate of a mate on Facebook who's doing that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very different environment, different kind of leads, higher quality leads, higher paying leads, in my experience.
It's a long way it continues.
Yeah, exactly. And what did you learn was the secret to getting leads from LinkedIn?
What did I learn was the secret to getting it? Do you know what? It's activity, isn't it?
Doing the stuff, doing the work. Yeah.
It's the activity.
Showing up.
Yeah, showing up, just being on there again, which I'm about to do again now.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's a comfort zone for so many people. Of course it is. It's my spiritual home. Like, it's where I hang out. It's where my group is. It's where my peers are. I do a lot of business out of Facebook, don't get me wrong, because I'm like the bridge between Facebook to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn's just totally different. So when I get a lead on LinkedIn, it's going to convert into money, basically. If I get an inquiry on Facebook, it can convert into anything from, I haven't got any money, can I just ask you some questions, or can it give me something free? Straight through to, I love your stuff, I've seen your stuff, here's 1,200 quid. So it can be a bit more of a mishmash of opportunity.
I guess I felt, because I took my Facebook attitude over to LinkedIn, which was almost a little bit of a fear of selling, because Facebook is the whole friendly thing. Do you know what I mean?
Promo on Facebook. We're not allowed to sell our stuff on Facebook. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, I do put it in, but I am still wary not to do it too much. Just a little warning out there that the next 2 weeks from me is going to be a lot of selling on my Facebook page. If you're watching and you know me, be ready. But I'm going to be.
That's how it should be.
I'm going to be hitting it hard. I think I've earned it. But with LinkedIn, I kind of just went straight in and I was just posting about my stuff, and like I said, problem solving. I did go on and have other people's posts and offer value there, but generally my posts were sort of insights. I posted my videos and stuff like that, but pretty much they were like, this is what I do, this is how I can help you, these are my programs, this is how much it costs, get in touch if you want some. I guess they did get in touch. I had a lot of leads. I converted 2, but I had a lot more leads that sort of tripped over with sort of money and stuff. But again, I'm learning how it works and how to have those conversations within the inbox. And
yeah, I mean, that's it. Conversion is different. So I'm bringing my dad in to talk about that. So my dad's like the master of sales. He's like the Yoda of traditional selling. So I'm going to get my dad in to talk about actually converting and closing those leads.
Is that your dad? He does the videos every day. Is that your dad?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to bring him in and do one of these calls, like introducing Big Sam Leach, because I can help people get leads, but it's harder to get them to, I don't know, I can help people convert them into cash. But what you can do with LinkedIn is be so transparent about what it is that you're offering, how much it is, that when they come to you, they should be pre-qualified in some way. But I'm not going to start working, like I could start talking now about what you could do, but the good thing is when you've got your free group, you've now got somewhere to funnel people to, so that when they can't afford you, doesn't mean they can't afford you forever, just right now, or they don't see the value right now or whatever. So you can put them into your free group and let them and nurture them in there on Facebook until they're ready to buy. Because it's a longer process, yeah? So I've been doing mine 2 years. So when I sell 98 masterminds in 5 days, whatever, everyone's like, oh, that's amazing. It is amazing, but it's not really 5 days, is it? It's, it's 800 days or whatever I've been doing it and showing up consistently. So we've got loads of people on the call, which is cool. Anybody got any questions so far? Let me know. Judy's saying she had leads within 3 days of starting the 5-day challenge. It's cool. Yeah, it works. My stuff works. We know this. Anyway, so you said before that you were going to be in launch mode for the next 2 weeks as we run up to Christmas.
Yep.
Talk to me. What are we launching? I love a good promo. Hearts. Let us know exactly what it is that you've got that we can buy and why we'd want to buy it.
So I'm launching the Inspired 2019 program. We're doing them separate but not divided, which is my motto for the 2 groups, for the modern man and the modern woman. It's all about making ourselves better for each other, but doing things separately, because I know we think differently, we want different things, we have conversations slightly differently. And so I'm running 2 programs, Inspired Men and Inspired Women in 2019, launching that in January. The books are open now. We've got people in both already. It's an interesting hybrid program, basically. It's over 6 weeks. It's my traditional 6-week NLP program where I bring on clients. I speak to them every week on a one-to-one call, and we use a combination of coaching, NLP and hypnotherapy to get them where they need to be. We also include a mini breakthrough session, so a half-day timeline session as well, which removes all of your negative emotions.
Who doesn't want that?
Yep. And this time we're going to put a bunch of you in a secret Facebook group as well. So you'll be doing it bespokely, separately and individually and privately, but also have the group aspect for accountability, a bit of fun. There's going to be fitness. There's going to be daily lives. There's going to be nutrition. I'm going to bring in guests. We're going to offer loads of value in the Facebook groups as well. So it's a combination of one-to-one coaching and group fun as well.
Fantastic. Sounds amazing. Who's it ideal for? Who's your ideal client for this?
People that are just stuck in a funk. You know the people, the ones that went 2018 is going to be my year. The problem is with it all is that they think, most people, I used to do it as well. I used to think that just by carrying out activities or signing up to a new thing or reading a book or even just setting a goal was the thing that was going to change me. Was actually nothing changes unless you change.
The story.
And so that's where the NLP and the hypnotherapy comes in, really, is to break down the limiting beliefs and the mindset stuff that we have fixed in our brain. And that's the stuff that's really stopping you. It's really, really difficult to introduce new habits. It's really, really difficult to see and think things differently because you've been behaving like that for 20, 30, 40 years. It ain't going to change just by reading a book. It's just not.
No, sadly.
It's part of it for sure, and that can be the beginning, but what I do is the end. It's the final thing. Once you've worked with me for 6 weeks, none of those those things just won't be an issue anymore, and you can take on and do whatever you want to.
Okay, so give us an example of somebody you've worked with in that capacity, and like where they were. Obviously, don't name them. Where were they before, and then where were they after?
My biggest success was one of my female clients, actually. I was just in tears of joy when she rang me recently with a business proposition. When I met her, she was stuck in a funk. It was difficult, hated job, just hated everything about what she was doing, not feeling her training, her exercise. It had all started slowing down and just not doing anything. And we got to work. We got to the bottom, the real fundamental problem, which is a one big limiting belief, cracked through that. And mainly once you start doing sort of hypnosis and NLP, you get more in tune with your unconscious mind, which is the part of you that's in tune with the rest of the universe. Nice. Once you start walking those lines and you become in tune with the universe and more perceptive to opportunities that are around you, the magic happens, and opportunities come your way, phone calls come your way, you meet people offer you things, and this happens every single time. And as a coach, you have to pretend to be surprised when they ring you up. You never guess what happened, and you go, "Oh wow!"
I get those all the time. I've got a lead.
Yeah. Well, a bit like how I was. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, I've got a lead." But yeah, and it's just. She had the stones to just pick up the phone just randomly. She'd wanted to speak to this person for years, somebody she'd really respected and admired, rang them up. They were there, had lunch, business opportunity, big business opportunity. So like life-changing stuff. And it was really emotional, you know. She rang me up and she was just like, this would not have happened. I would not have been here 6 weeks ago. I was over here. Now I'm up here. Yeah. Nice. And we're going to be working together for a long time after that now.
Nice. It's magic.
Powerful stuff.
It's magic. It is. It's life-changing stuff. Of course it is. And it's funny about mindset because a lot of people might think my stuff's about LinkedIn, but it's not. LinkedIn's like the bait and switch, really, because people think that's what they think it is. But when they get inside, they're like, oh. But yeah, mindset is a huge, huge part of what I teach because people just are so held back by their own limiting beliefs around, you know, their own value and their own worth and their own, you know, what will people do, say, and think about me, that it stops them becoming successful. They try to stop themselves. So it is massive, and people again, it's like, oh, it's all about business and money with you, but it's not really. It's about, like, say, changing lives. It's about, I can't pay my rent. Now I can pay my rent. It's like, that's quite a big shift. It's like, I've no idea where my client's coming from. I know where my client's coming from, and that's a big, big shift. It helps on so many levels for so many people. It's almost like get rid of that first. When you've got no money or you're struggling, then that's a real caveman issue, isn't it? Or cavewoman issue of like, I can't look after myself. I can't do the shelter, you know, food, shelter, warmth stuff.
So like the health, wealth, and happiness in that order for me.
Yeah.
Start getting healthier, start having more energy, start feeling fitter, start feeling stronger. That boosts your confidence. Get control of your money, start understanding, earn more, manage it better. Again, it boosts your confidence, and then you can roll all of that confidence into your relationships. You know, that will filter into your role as a mother or a father, as a husband or a wife, as a girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, brother, sister, son, daughter. It all rolls in, and I think that's where, you know, like a coach like you choose a specific thing, like LinkedIn. You've got personal trainers who all do the same thing. I know nutritionists that are the same as well.
Yeah.
Anybody operating on a coaching level at a high level understands that link, and that really fundamentally it comes down to mindset.
Yeah, it always just come back to mindset. It sounds like almost like an overused term, but it's just a good catch-all for all of that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So one thing I don't know a lot about is your backstory. So I love a backstory. Never wins the X Factor for being good at singing. So
wow.
Talk to me a little bit about your story. Like I think, look, for a couple of points. So you've got your pivot point when you decided you weren't going to do what you were doing before. Your crisis point where you decided you didn't want to do whatever it was you were doing before you were doing this. And then your pivot point when you decided how it was going to look. So just give me like the edited highlights of you for the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Interesting. So I was Britain's favourite will writer.
Yes.
There he is. There, Bad News Beauhill, Skull and Crossbones. You're all going to die.
Yeah.
I was involved with will writing for 12 years. I ran my own company and still do for 5. I think we just tomorrow. I think will be the 6th anniversary of Legally Secure.
Right.
The last 2 or 3 years, I started getting really well known as a speaker and started doing more inspirational talks rather than just practical advice on will writing and estate planning. People really enjoyed those and engaged with them. I did a specific talk called How to Die Happy. During that point, though, I hit problems with my business, financial difficulties. I tried to grow the company, borrowed a load of money, then got hit with a VAT bill, and it all started crumbling. And I had a panic attack, ended up in hospital through stress because I didn't communicate, didn't tell anybody what was going on, not my wife, not my kids, not my friends, not my business partners, anybody. I kept it all to myself. After I kind of like recovered from that, I decided that I needed to do some personal development. So I started having hypnotherapy, which opened up the neural pathways between my unconscious and my conscious and makes you hyper aware of where you are in terms of happiness.
Yes.
You become much less tolerant. I've found your unconscious mind's just like, no. What are you doing? That's not the thing. That's not you. Stop it. And that's pretty much what happened. I was giving a talk, my How to Die Happy talk, which is based on the 6 things through my experience of taking thousands of will instructions and talking to old people and even young people about what's really important in life. And I distilled them down to 6 things, one of which was the truth. And I had a session of hypnotherapy, and then I went down to Southampton and did that talk. And I delivered this part about the truth. And there's a picture of my mum behind me, and I recalled a conversation I'd had with my mum. I interviewed her live on Facebook, and I said to her, "What's one bit of advice that you would give your kids, your grandchildren? What would you say to them? One bit of advice." And she said, "Find out who you really are, and live that life as soon as you can." Because I waited too long, and that came back to me as I was delivering this talk. I'd never told anybody about this before. It got really emotional. I welled up, hairs went up. And then I sat on the train on the way home, and I was just like, wow, you're just not doing that. You're telling everybody else to do it, but you're not walking the walk.
Yeah.
Because this isn't you. I'm not Mr. Death. Look at this face.
Yeah, look at his smiley face.
I'm not Mr. Death. And there was a real juxtaposition there, People always used to get a bit confused. It was part of what made me good at it, but I'm not Mr. Death. I did it as a profession. It was a job for me. It wasn't.
Yeah. Wasn't you.
So I went home and I spent 3 days. I started off asking myself the question, who am I? But that's a ridiculous question to ask yourself. So I switched it and I said, what have I got to offer? That was the question. And it was partly who I am, who I really am. But by the end of it, what I had to offer was this. The modern man came out, the idea of it, the concept of it, the concept of being really comfortable. I'm really comfortable in my masculinity. I'm really comfortable also stepping into my feminine energy as well when needed as a father and as a partner, and sometimes as a business person and a communicator. But I also am really hyper aware of my masculinity as a boxer, as a businessman, as a father, as a husband. I know when to switch between the two.
Yeah.
I understand my role in society, whereas I look around me and I see that a lot of men aren't there yet, and I understand why. And I think it's been proven that I can be really useful helping guys relocate where they're supposed to be and start a conversation. I've got a lot of female friends like yourself, strong, powerful women who almost allow me to have slightly riskier conversations that most men wouldn't get away with, so that I can raise a point and start discussions, because they know that it's coming from my heart. Do you know what I mean? There is no disrespect to women in my body whatsoever. All I really want is for everybody to just start thinking about things differently.
Definitely.
And it's gone pow. Modern Man Club's awesome. It is my baby, my love, my life. I love that place in there.
So talk to me about the Modern Man Club then. Well, you can't tell us what happens in there, obviously.
I can tell you what happens in there, not specifically. We're just growing daily. We've 630 guys in there now. It is a hyper active community.
Yeah. Safe space.
Probably about 60%, 65% of the content in there is silly, or it's light-hearted, and it certainly starts off that way.
Not boys though when they get together.
Yeah, but what that does is it builds a friendship, it builds a relationship. Do you know what I mean? And I was really conscious of making sure that it was just a cool place to hang out to start off with. Once you create that, then it allows people to feel comfortable sharing their more personal stuff. I mean, and daily, I had a video message sent to me which brought tears to my eyes last week from a guy saying it had helped him, brought him back from feeling suicidal. I'm not saying he was there, but he was certainly on his way there. Yeah. So he said, I get messages weekly from guys who don't interact that much, but they just message me to say thank you. I don't get engaged. I'm not too involved, but yeah. I've watched other people talking about the same problems that I'm going through, and it's really, really helped me. And makes it worthwhile.
That's a really interesting point, because I think obviously we've got different audiences, but when you're just showing up every day, even when you feel like, so I've posted about this quite a bit, about my masculine feminine energy thing. So I was very in my masculine when I was building the business. I'm more in my feminine now, and I'm much more successful now. I am. It's sort of like standing in my feminine, definitely.
That is such an important lesson for women.
Such an important lesson, honestly. We do not have
I've got this idea that femininity is somehow weaker or somehow like not businessy, and it's absolute nonsense, you know.
Wildly powerful, absolutely wildly powerful, yeah.
And there's true equality in it. It's just different, you know. You can show up in your full femininity, and there's like, I'm telling you that is whatever. Yeah. You know what you're talking about. I'm looking forward to seeing you do more of it.
Yeah, but this is it, you see. So I kind of like, I'm evolving all the time, like we all are, right? So I consider myself very aware of my own strengths, weaknesses, my own evolution, my own spirituality, my own like sexuality, feminine energy, and all that kind of stuff. So, but I know there's lots of people who just aren't there. Like you said, you just see people who just aren't there. So you have a responsibility as a influencer, leader, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. If you've got an audience, you have a responsibility to show up 100% and talk about it.
Yes.
I think that's really important, is that you talk about, because I know when I talk about things like I posted yesterday, there'll be people in my life, like my family, it'll be just like, oh, Helen, don't put that stuff on Facebook, it's so personal, you know. But it's like, it's a responsibility that's important. And it's interesting what you're saying about people messaging you privately who you've almost had no contact with at all, and you're kind of like, and they get like women will message me, and men, but like women will message me and go, oh my God, that resonated so hard with me. Whether I'm talking about feminine energy, whether I'm talking about financial success, whether I'm talking about mental health, whether I'm talking about relationships, doesn't really matter. Somebody will always message me who I've got no idea who they are. And they'll say, you have completely impacted my life today. Like today, that's made me feel X, Y, and Z, and that's making me want to do X, Y, and Z. And that's like a massive responsibility. And I'm only just getting comfortable with that. That kind of responsibility when people do respond to you. But it's funny because the more authentic you are in the way that you show up, the more successful.
That was the game changer for me. I was so aware that as a will writer and a legal and financial professional, which I was, the issue with that is the person I had to be on social media, on stage, doing my talks, and things like that was only a fraction of me, because there's a lot of my story, like I've just shared with you a little bit about sort of financial difficulties and stuff like that you can't let out when you're in that type of industry. And actually the value that I have to offer the world, what I can do and what I can help with is about the stuff that I really wasn't able to share, because I know, man, it's real stuff, man. People go through life, don't they? You know, and life is hard for loads and loads of people. One of the things I deal with where we sit with the mental health side of things is prevention rather than cure.
Yes.
There's a lot of men out there that talk about men's issues for some reason always come back to mental health, and it's just like, well, women's problems don't always come back to mental health. Like men have other problems that
I think that's just been a big
Sometimes we're
message,
just
hasn't it?
skint. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes we're skint, sometimes we're fat, sometimes we just don't like our body, or we worry that our willy is too small. That's got nothing to do with mental health.
Yeah.
You know, but life is hard. And my message is mainly we sit on the prevention rather than cure side of things. That is the idea of the Modern Man Club. There's lots of guys who have been suicidal. There's lots of guys who have drug and alcohol problems. Lots of guys who have been depressed, and they're there to help bring people back from there. Where I come from is, do you know what? I've been through all of this stuff. I've stood on the edge, but because of the habits that I've installed, and because of my behaviors that I've got, and the processes that I do, I've stayed away from going too far down that path. And that's the conversation I want to have. I want to talk to normal guys who haven't been down that far yet, and say, look, be aware of your mental health, be aware of your physical health. It's like, you don't start running after you've had a heart attack, you know. You start running and looking after yourself before that happens. And it's the same with mental health.
That's fitting a little bit with your will writing and finance. It's almost like insurance, isn't it? It's kind of like preparation.
Exactly. So I've gone from being a deaf coach to a life coach, and I'd much rather do it.
Finish. I like it. Okay, so just on a final note, obviously let's leave it on a high. So when it comes to dating, right, for a strong, independent woman, asking for a friend,
my favourite subject.
Yeah, sorry, okay, cool. Right, so a lot of feedback I get from men that I hang around with loads of men. Right, I love men. I've got loads of men. My best friends are men. My best friends are women as well. But like, got a lot of men in my life. And what they say to me is, Helen, people are just frightened to death of you. Men frightened to death of you because they just think you're so sorted, you're so confident, you got everything you need, you look after yourself, you're an independent, strong, independent, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, well, surely that's bullshit. Surely I just need to, or don't need to find, but surely somebody who's really strongly in their masculine, or strongly like in that, but at the same time, like really alpha male like behavior, I don't tend to like
that. But so the alpha male behavior, that's not alpha. Oh, no, I really think we need it's faux alpha.
Yes, faux alpha. Yeah, that's it. I've seen quite a bit of that, and that's not for me. Yeah, faux alpha.
It's faux alpha, and real alphas have absolutely adore strong, independent women, because it's about co-independence, isn't it? You know, interdependence. Why we need to, so one of the things I get told a lot by women and my sort of female clients and things like that, one of the things that's missing is decisiveness, right? And making decisions within a relationship. And that is a real masculine trait. Okay, that is absolutely being in your masculine. So when for guys, if you'll step into a strong, independent woman, do not be afraid to make the arrangements, to make the plans, to be straightforward. I want to go out with you. I want to take you here. Are you free on Thursday night?
Yes.
I'm going to book a table here, there. Where I'm going to pick you up then. And it doesn't. Am I right?
Totally. Honestly, absolutely nailed on. That's what I want. That is exactly it. Somebody to just make those decisions that'll just allow me to just do the thing.
Be in your feminine, right? Because a lot of strong, independent women, they're in their masculine energy while they're at work and running their businesses, being a boss, being certainly if they're a single mum and stuff like that, they have to make all of these decisions and be decisive. And actually, that's that uses up a lot of their masculine energy, all right? And it kind of gets tiring. And really, what they want is for a man to just come in and take some of that away from them. Not being needy, don't pile more onto their plate, you know, and expect them to, this is something else I need to bloody decide about now. That's just ain't gonna work. So on the flip side to that, something I'd like to say to strong, independent women is to help your guys behave in that way is to step into your feminine, even if you have to pretend for a little while. Things like asking us to, you have no idea how happy it makes a man feel when you ask us to open a jar. All right.
Yes.
That one thing we come in. Yes.
Yes.
Boom. She wants me to use my strength to open this jar.
Yes.
So we know you can do it yourselves. We know you can do it yourselves. All right. But give us the gift. Allow us to do that for you.
Yeah.
And you'll notice a difference in our behavior. Allow us to make the decisions. Allow us. Don't say, flipping out, I might as well just do it myself if you're not in that kind of stuff. So that's my advice to couples and certainly single people.
To make the decisions and then enjoy and embrace the decisions.
Yeah, and say thank you, you know? I really appreciate you making this decision. I really appreciate it.
Not the right one. We'll
Yeah.
stick with it.
Even if it's not the right one, you know, just swallow that
Rewards
bit,
good
you know, don't
behaviour.
tell him off.
Ignore bad. It's all new to me. It's all new. But yeah, I think honestly, absolutely nailed on. I would say that's what strong, independent women want. Is they want somebody else to make the decisions, so we can just relax and enjoy the experience of like dating, or you know, even just day-to-day life. I think because making decisions, and you're absolutely spot on, because when you've got kids and a business and a life and all that, you are making decisions every minute of every day. So someone comes into life and goes, oh, what do you want for tea? Or where do you want to go tonight? Or do you want to go out next week? It's just like,
yeah.
brilliant.
So, come on then.
I'm on a date tonight, and he said, why don't we do this? Go to this restaurant at this time. And I was like, great. And he said, I'll ring up and let you know. Great. Done. Perfect.
So yeah, that's kind of what I work with on both sides with my male and female clients. We work on how that works on a real practical level, and as married couples as well.
Yeah.
That doing that flip, they start having sex almost immediately, so they can have a really
fantastic. Now you can't sell that. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, that's what the program says. You know, it's more energy, more sex, more money, more sex.
Yes.
Once you have your confidence and you understand about being decisive and how to do it in the right way, because listen, you can't just listen, guys. That don't go home today and start. We're gonna do that. No. That's not how you do it. You've got. There's a little sliding scale. If you're single and you're dating, do it right from the get-go. But if you're married and you're in a long-term relationship where that energy has flipped, which it quite often does, that's the reason why you're not having sex. So when you flip that, what is attractive is masculine and feminine energy, even in the same sex relationship, masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
If that's flipped somewhat, then the sex dies. You bring that opposite back again, the flame is relit.
Is that the code for?
It was, yeah.
Sex again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So who doesn't want more health, more wealth, more sex, and all the good stuff? So how much do we have to pay you for this? That's what we need to know. Obviously, we all want it. How much is it?
It's 1,500 quid.
A bargain. Absolute bargain. And how can we pay for that? Do you have to pay it all at once? Or
But there's two offers. There's one offer that I'm doing at the moment, which is a 2-for-1. I'm doing 2-for-1 for couples. So if you're a man and a woman, the lady can go in the women's club, and the man can go in the man's program. And I'm doing that as a 2-for-1 because I think it's really, really powerful if couples do this together. One of the issues you see sometimes with personal development is one person does the personal development and the other one doesn't, and that can
they go like that, and the other person's like, oh.
Correct. So I'm all about bringing people together rather than separating them. So I really want to work with couples. So I'm doing a 2-for-1 at the moment. If you sign up before Christmas Eve for a couple, or even just two friends, if there's a man and a woman, if there's two of you, I'm doing 2-for-1. Go and join in the club. Otherwise, you can do 1,500 quid. We're doing payment terms over 10 months. If you want to do it like that, so nice and affordable, pay your deposit before Christmas Eve to take advantage of that.
This stuff will last forever, right? This will be stuff you'll learn, you'll be able to apply for the rest of your life. Yeah?
Yep. So part of the Facebook community, a bit like yours, once you're in there, you'll be in there for life. And when the new guys come on board for the second program, you'll still be in there, and we'll be running it, and we'll be doing the lives, and we're doing the health and fitness stuff in there and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Very nice.
It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about it, man.
Yeah. So it'd be a great Christmas present for somebody, wouldn't it?
It would be an amazing Christmas present.
What a cool Christmas present for your partner. Like, we're going to do this next year.
We're going to do it together. Yeah. Powerful stuff.
It's like a lot of couples are like, oh, we don't need any la 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 la. But this is personal development, isn't it? It's not like counselling. It's like personal development. It's going to get better for both of you. And we were talking about co-independence. Is that what you called it?
Interdependence. Yeah.
Interdependence. I like that. You want two independently strong, confident people
that choose to be together. Choose to be together. They choose to go on their journey together. Because that choice is more powerful than need.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, don't need a man. Someone's got to come and offer so much more to add to my life, rather than, do you know what I mean? There's like a massive hole that I need. Like, oh, I haven't got this in my life, I haven't got that in my life. I've got all the things I never need in my life. Great. But it's like someone's going to come and add to that, then that's worth a conversation, isn't it? Cool.
Being someone's choice is a lot more powerful, I think. Anyway, it's a lot more of an honor, a lot more respectful. I want to be someone's choice.
I could talk about dating all day. I think it's fascinating. The psychology behind it is really, really fascinating. Yeah, interesting. Right. Okay. Well, we better go because we've been chatting for ages.
Lovely. It's been good. It's been awesome. We should do it again.
I knew we'd go off on some cool tangents, and we have, which is fantastic. So if anyone wants to know any more from you, what do they need to do? Are you going to put the link in the comments? We've had loads and loads of people jump on. I don't think we've got any questions particularly, no, but we have got lots of people who've been on here. So you're going to put that in the...
I'm gonna put the link to the Modern Man Club in there. I'll put the link to the Modern Woman Club in there. If you want to jump on the program with me, then just send me a direct message. That's the easiest way, and we can just get you signed up for that.
Awesome. Right, lovely. Have a lovely day. Have a great Monday. And I'll see you soon.
Take care. Cheers.
Nice chatting. Bye.
Bye.